All right, Kipster. So we spent a lot of time in class today going over how to use a factor tree to find our greatest common factor. For this video, we're going to go ahead and take it further to be able to factor out so that we can write our expression, our equivalent expression that has a number on our factor, our greatest common factor outside the parentheses, and a new expression inside the parentheses. So as you can see here, I have my factor tree already written out for my numbers 4 and 16g. As you can see here, 4 is just 2 times 2. Those are the last factors that make up 4, so I circled them. 16g I can break down into 16 times g. G stays on its own. I'm not going to go ahead and multiply that. I want to break down 16. 16 can break down to 4 times 4. I can break down my 4 to 2 times 2, and notice that my 2's are my factors that I circled, and these are all the factors for 16g. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times g. Now, once I have used my factor tree, I want to go ahead and rewrite my expression with my factors. So I know that the first thing in my expression is the number 4. So the way I'm going to write it is, instead of writing 4, I'm going to write out its factors. So for 4, it's going to be 2 times 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and write out my second factor. So this is just the factor for 4, plus 16g, which is, in this case, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times g. As you can see here, I literally just rewrote what I had down here. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I have 4 2's times g. Don't forget this g on the top. You want to include it because that's also part of the factor. It's 16g, not just 16. Now once I did that, I want to go ahead and circle the factors of the same. What I notice here is that both my 4 and my 16g share 2 factors. They both share 2 times 2. So I'm going to go ahead and circle that. Remember, these are the same. They both have 2 2's that I can circle. So 1 2, 1 2, 2 2's, 2 2. So they both share these factors. All I want to do now is, well, what is my greatest common factor? Well, I circled it here. I know that 2 times 2 equals 4. This 4 right there is my greatest common factor. When I rewrite it with my greatest common factor, that 4 is going to be what's outside my parentheses. The 4 is what's going to be outside. And I determined that 4 by circling the factors that my 4 and my 16g had the same. They both had 2 2's that I can circle. 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 is my greatest common factor. That's why it's outside my parentheses. Now I'm going to go ahead, and once I factored out this 4, I can go ahead and fill in what's inside my parentheses with what is left. Well, here it's interesting. There is nothing here. I circled both my factors. Well, what times 4 will give you 4? Well, we know it's 1. So I know 1's going to go there. Even though there's nothing here for me to multiply, we know that if nothing's left, you got to put a 1, because when you multiply 4 times 1, you get the same number. You get 4. So because there's nothing here, it'll be a 1 in my parentheses. Let's go to the next part. The plus sign stays the same. So there's my plus sign. Now I want to go ahead and write out my factor that's in the parentheses with what's left. So I do 2 times 2. That is 4. 4 times g is just 4g. Here is my factored expression. My greatest common factor was 4 because they both share 2 2's. Once I factored out outside the parentheses, 4 times 1 will give me 4, so 1 goes inside. What was left is 2 times 2 times g, which is 4g. And here is my simplified, or my equivalent expression, with the 4 as the factor outside my parentheses. Let's look at another one. Once again, I have my factors already done. 8 breaks down to 4 times 2. 2 stays as it is. 4 breaks down to 2 times 2. So my factor for 8 is 2 times 2 times 2 plus, let me look at 24k. So 24k breaks down to 24 times k. 24 can break down to 6 times 4. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3. 4 breaks down to 2 times 2. So for 24k, my factors are 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times k. Remember, this just means that this will all equal 8, and this will all equal 24k. So this will equal 8. This equal 24k. I just broke it down by its factors. Now I want to circle what they have in common. Okay, well, I see 1 2 here, 1 2 here. I see another 2 here, another 2 here. I see another 2 here, another 2 here. So they both share 3 2's. So when I go to find my greatest common factor, I do 2 times 2, which equals 8. There is my greatest common factor. 8's going to stay outside my parentheses. Remember that. Then I'm going to go ahead and rewrite everything that's left inside my factored expression. So I know that 8 times 1 will give me 8. Remember, there's nothing here. I circled all my factors for 8, so that means 1's going to be left in my parentheses. Keep the plus sign. All I'm left with here is 3 times k, which we know is 3k. And here is my factored out expression. This is what you're going to do for your work today. We spent a lot of time on finding greatest common factor because that's the main idea of how to do this work. Once you are there, you're going to factor out your expression. If you need to rewatch this video 2 or 3 times, go ahead and do so to help you out. Remember how to do the work so we can see if this was helpful. Best of luck with your IP. I will see you later.